Namaste from the land of India. Greetings of the day to all of you there. Now, I am Kala from Fatima College, Madurai, an institution that networks with UBCHEA. We are here to present as a team the project on the gamification of Macbeth, which we call ScoreMac. Why do we call so? I will let you know a little later. So, to begin with, let me just tell you about the rationale and the objectives of this project. We all know that values form an integral part of healthy living in a society, and it steers people towards a purpose of life. And there are many efforts taken to consciously imbue value right from an early age, and education institutions play an important role in molding young minds into whole persons or value based whole persons. In fact, in many countries, value education is imparted as a mandatory course. Besides value education as a mandatory course, values are also consciously and unconsciously taught through various courses of different disciplines. And one among them is literature. We all know that literature is the mirror of society and that it reflects the value that it upholds. Realizing the significance of literature in creating an impact and informing whole persons, many efforts have been taken to convert literary texts into picture books, animation, movies, and online games. In this digital era, when almost all the children are bent upon learning or engaging themselves in games, I think this would be a wonderful opportunity and the right one to convert a literary text into a game. So, we thought the best writer, or a writer with significance, a writer with immense appeal, is none other than William Shakespeare. And we thought that his text or his plays could be converted into a game because they lend themselves with lots of scope for it. And not just that, Shakespeare has this universal appeal mainly because he deals with themes that transcend all sorts of boundaries. Of them, his historical and tragedies create a cathartic effect on the readers, and they also reinforce more on the ethical aspects. In such a way, we thought, the team, when I say we, the team thought that Macbeth, the most famous tragedy which has the supernatural elements in it, would be the right one and an enticing one to be converted into a game. So we thought gamification of Macbeth, the game we thought which we could call it as Cormac. Why Scorpac? It's a combination of two words. One is scorpion and the other is Macbeth. Why do I say scorpion? Macbeth, when he wants to when he wants to highlight the guilt that is there within while sharing it with his wife, Lady Macbeth, he says, "Oh, my mind is full of scorpions." So he wants to say how guilty he is and how, like a scorpion, they sting him. So we thought scorpion. And Mac is the short form for Macbeth. So that's how is the title of the game, Scott Mac. The project that we would like to undertake is gamification of Macbeth. We know that by doing that, we are going to connect literature with values, and by enabling the students or the learners to participate in and play the games, they would internalize how, by taking up ethical or unethical ways, they'd be led to success or downfall, respectively. So, we thought they would also learn the most important virtue that's topical, or that's very, very mandated in this contemporary era is the virtue of discernment. And that's what is very, very important. And that's one virtue that has to be instilled among the youngsters. So we thought that's one thing that they would nurture by playing this game. So, what are our primary objectives? The primary objectives of the proposed project are to make literature a fun-filled and a fruitful experience by linking it with values, to familiarize the learners to the setting and dramatic techniques used by Shakespeare, thereby we'll be exposing them to literature also. Further, the gamers would be exposed to the kingly ideals and virtues of the past, which would also be restored because they're all lost now. Then the proposed project would help them internalize the spiritual and ethical values through the literary characters that they encounter, and will help them develop empathy towards the needy, thus making them an engaged global citizen. To develop in them or the ability to recognize the right administration or governance that leads to professional success, so that they get to know that it's not always any means that could be adopted to reach the goal, but it is the right mean that has to be adopted to reach the goal. And finally, we thought that they would be involved in the ethical ways of problem solving, a typical outcome of gamification that would help them be ethical professionals in future. So, what is the project's contribution to the institution mission for whole person education? Fatima College is a Catholic minority institution that imparts value based holistic education to young women with the objective of giving preference to the rural, economically backward women, and very particularly first generation learners. The college envisions to empower young women through faith formation and value based education for societal equality, harmony, and care for our common home, that is Mother Earth. The college works with a mission to endow the young women with character, competence, creativity, and commitment for nation building, and enkindle in them inclusive love, compassion, and excel as responsible citizens moved by the need for interdependence among human beings, society, and environment. I'm sure the gamification of Macbeth, that is to say, the game Scott Mac, is certainly going to teach the students the interdependence among human beings, society, and the environment, and is thus aligned with the mission of a college, as it would pave way for the gamers to develop a sense of responsibility, discernment, good governance, and uphold the moral values in achieving their ambition. Eventually, it will mold them into whole persons. That's the objective of UBCHEA. Now, description of the project personnel. The team is going to be comprising of three people, comprising of two staff from literature's background and one from the computer application specialization. I am Dr. S.J. Kala, an Associate Professor of English and Dean of Research at Fatima College, and I will be leading the project. I hold master's degree in English, Hindi language and literature, sociology, and journalism and mass communication. Besides that, I also have a master's in philosophy, and I have more than 25 years of teaching experience. I have earned my doctoral degree for my work on sociological concerns in the Uber of Stephen Gill. And I have been teaching Shakespeare very passionately for more than 23 years at the undergraduate level and 15 years at the master's level. Besides Shakespeare, my areas of specialization are Canadian literature, African American literature, new literatures, and contemporary literature, and I'm always willing to take up anything that's new and innovative. My research acumen gets demonstrated in the papers, innumerable papers that are presented in the national and international seminars, and in almost 40 articles published in reputed journals and books. Apart from that, I have also authored two books, co-authored in fact with my scholars. Recognizing my innovative contributions towards teaching and my contribution to the students' community, Madurai Kamaraj University, the parent university to which a college is affiliated, has conferred upon me the Best NSS Program Officer Award in 2007 and the Best Teacher Award in 2008 respectively. Besides that, as a member of the Rotary Group Study Exchange Program in 2010, I visited Texas, and I was honored with the city key by the mayor of Granbury in 2010. And I have received the proclamations from the mayors of Bedford and Dublin, Texas on March 26 and April 1 on 2010 respectively. And I've also been declared the honored guest of the Lone State by the State Governor of Texas on April 13, 2010. Besides that, I have visited many countries like USA, Italy, France, Germany, Vatican, Switzerland, Austria, Belgium, and the UAE on various occasions. I'm also a recognized research guide and supervisor in Madurai Kamraj University, and I've guided 8 MPhil scholars and 7 PhD scholars so far. Presently, I'm guiding 6 research scholars, and Ms. A.J. Bernita, who is also one of the members of the project, is my scholar. The second one that I would like to introduce is Ms. S. Selvarani. She is a very passionate teacher and an avid researcher. She is an assistant professor of computer applications with 12 years of teaching experience. She is well trained in various software related to administration, developing apps, and computer programs. Her areas of specialization are Java, data mining, and image processing. She is trained in gamification software like Flash, stop motion animation, and GIMP. She has guided several postgraduate projects on development of 25 websites, 10 mobile applications, and 5 IoT projects. And the third, my scholar, Ms. A.J. Bernita, is an assistant professor of English. She is a very, very compassionate person, very empathetic, and is a very wonderful teacher who has been teaching for 6 years. She's been teaching Shakespeare for undergraduate students since 2017. Her areas of specialization include Australian literature, American literature, and Japanese literature. She has so far guided 25 UG projects and 16 PG projects. She currently pursues her research on Japanese literature, and it's an untrodden path that she's taking up. She has published and presented 7 research articles and co-authored a book with me. The budget. The gamification of Macbeth, Scott Mac, foresees an expense of US dollar 25,102, which includes the cost sharing of gamification procedures like storyboarding, designing, and animation done by outsourcing, and the annual maintenance, lecture series, and evaluation to be conducted by the project members. However, we restrict our claim to the maximum permissible grant of USD 25,000. The beneficiaries of this project would be: after the gamification of Macbeth, the game's Scott Mac would be made open to the UG and PG students pursuing English literature at Fatima College. And later, it would be made open to the first and second year intermediate and advanced general English students and other interested students, totaling up to 1750 Fatimites approximately. Thereafter, the game will be open to the students across the world through Google Play Store for about a year, and it visualizes it to be used by at least 5,000 to 7,000 users. Plan for sustainability. The project proposes the sustainable plan for about a year from November 2023 to October 2024 in the Android platform, making it available to all the interested students worldwide, with the allocated money by UBCHEA for the same. Later, based on the demands and the reception, the game will be updated and extended furthermore from the income generated through the game. Hope I have made myself clear. Thank you so much for your patient listening.